So, the engagement story.
I had one plan, but little miss over here had a different plan.
Yeah.
So, we had not talked about engagement at all, but keep in mind we have been dating officially since February 4th of 2017. February 4th, 2017 when we officially started dating. That was the weekend I flew down to Fort Myers. Anyways, so we'd been dating long enough and had not talked about engagement at all. So we're on the way to the airport to go to Florida in January. And on the way to the airport, we're heading down the highway, and she randomly says...
I said, where are we going with this? What is our plan for our future?
I probably said something like, well, we're going to Midway on that one.
Most likely.
I don't know if I did or not.
You said, I was thinking we'd be engaged sooner rather than later.
And then meanwhile, unbeknownst to her, in my backpack in the back seat, which she'd probably carried a couple times that day already, was a ring. And so then she says, she was thinking a spring engagement and a summer 2019 wedding. So on the way to the airport, I'm run the numbers in my head, and I'm thinking, okay, January is close enough to March. I mean, March 20th is spring. That's also my birthday. Yeah, it's close enough. January's close enough to March. So we'll call it close enough to spring. And so yeah.
So I asked if he wanted any advice with the ring, not knowing that he already had the ring.
So I just played it right along and says, yeah, so what's your advice for the ring?
And I said I like when it's silver or white gold. I didn't like gold or rose gold. Something simple, and I love when there's a twist in the band.
So meanwhile, after she says that, later on, once we get to the airport, I have to grab out my phone, look at a picture of what the ring is, and whew, that was close. So turns out her 3 requirements I had spot on. So didn't have to make any changes. So.
And then he asked if I had any do's and don'ts for proposing, which started the long conversation where I threw a curveball into the plan.
So yeah, she tells me, what all did you say for the don'ts?
I said don'ts, not big crowds. I didn't want to be the center of attention or drug on stage, to which you asked for clarification.
So I need to clarify that because my plan was I knew Disney World was her favorite place. And that's where we were going to be going one of the days when we were down there. So my initial thought was, when we get to the park and everybody's taking the picture in front of the castle, that I would just boom, drop down and propose right there, because we already got somebody taking a picture. We had the video going, so I would let them know ahead of time and do it that way. So that was my thought. But then she says no big crowds, so I had to clarify that one, which turns out it was still okay. I mean, it had been clarified, it still worked, because she just said she couldn't be the center of attention, so it was okay.
Then one night, we're in Florida, we hadn't made it to Disney yet.
It's like the night before we go to Disney.
And I said, one more don't. Don't propose before March 9th, because I had a big exam I was preparing for on March 9th. And I knew once we got engaged, I would focus on wedding planning and not studying. So I thought that was a legit request.
In the meantime, I had kind of been praying about trying to figure out my whole plan was at Disney World, but then I was as we were there talking more about Disney, I'm thinking, okay, maybe the fireworks would be better at Disney, or after the fireworks or something like that. Having never seen any of this before, but hearing what she said about it, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe it would be fireworks. So I'm kind of praying about trying to figure out what's the right thing to do, and then I kind of got my answer. It was no.
But then you got really defensive about it. You said, well, you should already know the answer. It's yes or no. And I said, I know the answer. It's just a matter of studying or jumping into wedding planning.
So I didn't. And although the day we were at Disney World, a couple other people that were there and they knew about it, he was telling me, he's like, oh, you should just go do it right now. And I was half tempted to, except we were already at the park and I could not get back to the hotel to get the ring, because I had the ring in the safe at the hotel, which I'd never used a hotel safe before. This trip I did. So, and then, just to prove that I did in fact have this ring beforehand, I took selfies with me and the ring while we were in Florida, just to prove that I did in fact have it. So, I mean, there's one selfie with, I was never gutsy enough to do it with her in the background, I really, looking back, I wish I would have, but I just didn't have that kind of courage. So, and I mean, my luck, she would have seen it, and that would have been bad. So,
Yep.
but I just, I would always do those like when she was in the shower, so I knew I had some time. And I mean, one of them, I put the ring right on her bag and took a picture with it there, and in the hotel room, and other places. It's like, yep. So I had it, and then came back, and then, okay, so
Fast forward to the end of January.
end of January, we're sitting at my place one morning having breakfast, like on a Monday morning. She was getting ready to leave, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you don't have to wait till March 9th. I'm done with this test."
I said you can do it before, you can do it after. It's in your hands. You figure out when you want to do it.
So that was that last Monday in January, and so I'm thinking, what to do? Oh, and the other don't was nothing cliche like Valentine's Day, so that was out. So my thought was, you know what? This coming Sunday is our 1 year anniversary of when we officially started dating, which was February 4th. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it that day. So then I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? And then trying to figure, I hadn't really thought of how I was going to do the proposal since the whole Disney idea got shot down. And, yeah. And, trying to figure out what to do. Finally, like Wednesday night, I'm laying in bed and finally hit me. It's like, oh, I could do a website. So Thursday night, we were down there. We went to the mall, walked around, looked at rings. And, so we're actually at the mall. We tried some rings on, and she figures out what size she is, which was just a little under a 7, so it was good. And so the whole time I'm playing right along with this, she still doesn't realize that I have the ring. And
Nope.
so yeah, so that was Thursday night. Fast forward to Sunday. Sunday we were at her place. We just watched The Pacifier.
The Pacifier. I let him pick the movie, and of all movies, it's The Pacifier.
Wasn't really thinking. I probably should have picked like Bridesmaids or something. So, anyways, we got done watching The Pacifier. We're laying on her couch before, and this was on Super Bowl Sunday, so it was in the afternoon before we went over to her parents to watch the Super Bowl. We get done watching the movie, and she's texting her mom, and I said, hey, you should look up and see if NathanandCarrie.com is available, because we'll need an engagement website. And she's like,
I said, we don't need that yet. We don't need that till we're already engaged.
And I'm like,
don't worry.
I'm like, no, you should really check to see if it's available. And about then,
Pieces started to click.
it started to come together, and in that like real loud elementary school teacher voice, it was like, you are not proposing right now. You are not proposing right now. And she pulls up the website, says Nathan and Carrie, she goes to NathanCarrie.com, she pulls up on her phone, and there's the picture, it says, will you marry me? I literally roll off the couch onto one knee and pull a ring out of my pocket, which had been in my pocket the whole time we were watching the movie, and proposed. And then you said yes, and then you're like, did you ask my dad?
Yeah. I said, did you ask my dad?
I said yes, because I actually asked him on Christmas Day. Every time they got a picture back from us in Florida, her mom's zooming in on the picture to see if there's a ring on her finger, and then because they know that because I told her dad that I was probably going to propose in Florida, and so they're kind of wondering what happened here, and they're thinking I got cold feet or something, or they should have just figured that she shot the idea down. But so, anyways, yeah. So then we go over to her parents' place. Her dad wasn't there, but her mom and sister were there, and first she's trying to hide the ring, and finally after a couple hours she gave up, and she's like holding it out there, and nobody finally sees it. And, I mean, she's like handing them stuff. Yeah. Nobody's catching that there's a ring on there. And then, what do you finally do?
I showed him the video. Or the website.
The website.
They finally got it. Yep.
Yeah. Then her dad gets home, and everybody's saying, "Oh, he's not gonna catch it right away." And I said, "I'll give him some credit. Maybe he will." So
Nope.
she goes. She's handing him a beer. She hands it to him like this, and he goes, "Whoa!" Well, she had these crazy leggings on, and he was looking at her the leggings that she was wearing.
He goes, those are some wild pants you got going on.
And then,
of all things, didn't even notice the ring.
Yeah. So then we showed him the website, and then it was all good.
So that's it. We're officially getting married. Rumor has it.
Something like that. Okay.
All right.
That's it.
Perfect.